Hello everyone, welcome back for more Let's Play Battletech. Joining me is JKLantern.
Who just finished rereading Wolves on the Border, which reminds us why you shouldn't kick off the Wolves Dragoons.
You mean besides the fact that they have regiments?
They have multiple regiments and they're badass. Okay, let's see what we got here.
The base store is not going to have much. It might have some LB weapons you don't like.
The LV2 doesn't exist. The LV10 could potentially exist, but it doesn't. And that was the sound of my ocarina falling over.
Your brand new ocarina I saw.
Available.
Yes, just arrived today.
New weapon systems available.
Why would you do this?
New
Why would I
weapon
do this?
systems
Because they're
available.
good weapons.
That is true. Alright, let's see. The 3S Banshee would be a weird one to be in the black market.
Especially fully assembled.
Yeah. The King Crab would be weird. Phoenix Hawk, no. Yeah, the Phoenix Hawk shouldn't be there.
The Phoenix Hawk? That's a fully assembled Phoenix. Oh, it's got a BR PVC. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's the royal one. That's a Star League era Zeus, and that shouldn't be here.
Which one? The 5T?
The 5T.
Too bad
At least I
can't
think
afford
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got double heat sinks in it. So
Yeah, that
probably...
shouldn't be here. That's super duper extinct. Medium pulse laser shouldn't be here. Ultra AC5.
New weapon systems available.
Anyway, this is the start of a new recording session, so as usual, besides the fact I have my cat over at my side, reaching out and trying to pull my arm over to him, because he wants petting, and I'm busy. Cat. So as usual, we have to go over the stuff I've gotten in the last week of grinding.
Alrighty. There's not much you could have done. Let's see here. The Royal Griffin we'd seen previously. The Royal Crab. So
not
many
much new in the terms. Well, maybe this.
No. Shame on you.
Especially after I refit it.
Extra shame on you.
Do you want to see the refit?
I kinda do. Okay, large laser, medium laser, and then the Ultra AC5. It's almost like, and this is not gonna mean much to anybody, but it's almost like a royal take on the Merrick configuration of the Marauder. Yeah, the Ultra AC5 is the most objectionable thing on... Well, yeah, it's the main objectionable thing.
So let's see, what else? I refit this, which already had weird stuff in it to begin with.
Yeah, because it's the custom Royal Atlas 2.
Now it's even more custom.
Okay, ER large laser, medium... LRM 20, SRM 6. Ultra AC... Ultra AC 20! That doesn't exist!
But it's right here.
It wasn't invented yet. I need a beer.
Also a couple double heat sinks, just because.
Yeah. At least those existed in the past. The Ultra AC-20 was not... Meh.
Then I
And what-
refitted the Annihilator.
Oh no. Oh no!
You'll like this.
God, why? Have I talked?
Huh?
Have I talked about the LBX autocannons and the Ultra autocannons yet?
I don't
I
think
can't
so.
remember. So, the LBX autocannons work a little bit different in the tabletop game than they do in this. But, basically, you can load them up with cluster ammo, so, they're great when you've already punched a hole in something, or several holes, because then you can hit a whole bunch of different parts and potentially blow up a whole bunch of different things. And the LB2X AC just has a ridiculous range on it, even though it has piddling damage. The Ultra autocannons. In the tabletop game, they can fire twice, but they have a chance of jamming.
Oh, here, only half of that applies.
Oh boy.
Also, notice the modifiers on these because they're the double plus version.
Oh dear God. Oh no.
They're each 3 tons lighter.
Why must you hurt me?
Because you know you like it.
That actually is not terribly far off from one of the canon configs of the Annihilator. But Lantern, you keep bitching about the technology. Yeah, I know, shut up. The original versions of the Annihilator were actually built with Starleak tech, and then some of them were built with better than Starleak tech. See, when you were saying that you were trying to do things to annoy me, this was like the low end of what I was expecting. I was worried you'd either hacked the game or you had gotten the one mech. The one mech that I want to talk about, but can't yet.
See, I don't even know what mech that is.
It was made for the game, and there's a DLC scenario around it.
Yeah, I don't know which one that is yet.
It's Minnesotan.
Ah. But yeah, but when I was just basically tinkering around with configurations and went, oh, these LBX2s are light enough. I might be able to stick 3 of them on there to fill out all the ballistic hard points on the Annihilator. And they were. Also, this little exchanger here. Basically, all weapons produce 20% less heat.
Huh. Like, that's not a thing, unless it's an act in like 20 years, but I like it being here. Like, a bunch of the things in this game that aren't in the tabletop, I like them. I frankly like them. They add, like, in-game effects to things that would otherwise be fluff.
And because we were talking about the King Crab, I haven't refit that one. That's still the same. But it has 4 ballistic, 4 energy, and... Or no, 4 missile, 4 energy, and 2 ballistic hard points.
Okay, I know exactly why they did that.
And 4 support hard points, which means machine guns, small lasers, flamers, things like that.
Yeah. Basically, they're potentially giving you the ability to make the Royal KCG 010, which has 2 PPCs, 2 SRM6s, and 2 LBX AC10s, along with double heatsinks, ferrofibrous or endosteel, one of the 2. But anyway, yeah, even though the ones in game are nothing like that, they're giving you the option of building yourself that one.
But at any rate, it's time to go risk some of that fancy gear I loaded up on these here mechs, and go take on the next storyline mission. And if I'm not reading this wrong, we are about 3 missions away from the end of the story.
Okay, I think you're correct.
We're close.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the last stepping stone on the way to Koromodir If we pull this off, we're going to grind the dropship fleet to a halt. On to Tierlin.
Calculating course now, Commander.
Also, I did get that one mission, or not mission, but event that happened that made me very happy to get it.
It made me very annoyed that we weren't recording.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, I have a lot of things to say about that event. There are things about it that make me annoyed, things about it that are fascinating, and I would have wound up talking about the fax machines finally.
So let's see if I can get it to come up here. There we go. It's on screen now. Since I
So should I talk about it?
If you want to talk about it, you can talk about it now because this is probably a good time for it.
Okay, so it's odd that Morgan Kell. Oh, hello.
Hey, this is the one. This before that. Look at what popped up.
The best event.
The Triple F Burger.
Federated Fast Food. This is a canon company.
Yep. And we have the hydroponics lab up, so we can recreate the burgers. And we basically recreated the Triple F Burgers.
Yes.
This is basically McDonald's.
Yes. I love that this exists in canon.
And if my morale wasn't maxed out, it would be now.
Yep. So, Morgan Kell, is the leader of the Kellhounds. Ignoring the floating timeline in this game, if this timeline wasn't wonky enough anyway, during the time period that this is supposed to be taking place, Morgan Kell wouldn't be talking to anybody. He's currently in exile in a monastery after he had a very intense duel with Yorinaga Kurita on Mallory's World back in 3016. But the fact that he's talking about Lost Tech does make sense. What do you mean, Lantern? I'm glad you asked, hypothetical viewer. So, in like 3010, I want to say? It may have been before that. I'd have to pull out my House Steiner book, which is way the hell over there. General Katrina Steiner, her husband-to-be, Arthur Leuven, who is the Duke of Donegal, and his cousins, Morgan and Patrick Kell, were subject to an assassination attempt, and they disappeared for a couple of years. They went somewhere to the periphery, we don't know entirely where. But when they came back, Katrina Steiner deposed her uncle Alessandro and became Archon of House Steiner. She married Arthur Leuven. Arthur Leuven wound up giving Morgan and Patrick Kell a shitload of money to be mercenaries, and they brought back some souvenirs with them, various pieces of Lost Tech. One of them was the fax machine. So we've talked about interstellar communication a little bit, how it's these hyperpulse generators, which essentially punch a hole in space, kind of like jump ships do. Comstar has a monopoly on those. Back in the days of the Star League, that was not the only attempt at interstellar communication. Some were these fax machines, which essentially just send out these interstellar waves. It's still faster than light communication, not as fast as HPG, and it kind of goes out in a radius to all other fax machines. So Morgan Kell, Katrina Steiner, Arthur Leuven brought a bunch of those back. They shared some of them with House Davy, and they started making more. And so they secretly had a way to circumvent Comstar interdictions. So what's controversial about this? Well, you see the thing where Morgan Kell is talking about if anyone talks about phantom mech duels, don't correct them.
I haven't put that part up on the screen yet. I've just got still the first part of it.
Okay.
So do I need
So,
to get
yeah,
the second
Morgan-
part up yet?
Let me know when you have the second part.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, there we go.
So that part where he's talking about if you see anyone talking about phantom mech ability, don't correct them. That's the thing that's contentious. So, again, Morgan Kell, out in the periphery with Katrina Steiner. They found a whole bunch of lost tech. But the thing is, there's a thing Morgan Kell did early on in the setting when the writers weren't quite sure what direction they were going in. We don't see Morgan Kell's point of view in any of these fights. We don't see Yorinaga Kurita's point of view in any of these fights. We don't see Patrick Kell's point of view in any of these fights. That's an important detail. Basically, one of the duels on Mallory's world, Morgan Kell is fighting Yorinaga Kurita in the Second Sword of Light, and the Second Sword of Light is kicking the Kell Hound's ass, and so Morgan Kell basically challenges Yorinaga to single combat. And Morgan Kell's in an archer, Yorinaga's in a Warhammer. In a one-on-one duel, the Warhammer should probably win if they get close. So they get up and are all going to fight each other, and suddenly, Morgan Kell's mech just friggin' disappears off of everybody's sensors. And so, like, Yorinaga Kurita just keeps shooting and keeps missing. Before the mech disappeared from sensors, its arm got blown off. But, so Yorinaga just can't hit Morgan Kell, and Morgan Kell winds up winning the duel, but after that he goes into exile, so does Yorinaga Kurita. Fast forward about a decade or two, Yorinaga Kurita comes out of exile, and he winds up in a battle with the Kell Hounds. His mech disappears off of sensors. Oh, this is weird. And at that point, Patrick Kell is also in the fight. He is in a borrowed mech. That's important for this whole thing. It disappears off of sensors. So early on in the setting, these three characters had something that may or may not have been supernatural called the Phantom Mech ability. Where basically, because of some form of oneness with the universe or something, they could just become invincible, effectively, except to each other. Yeah, the later writers were like, yeah, we don't like that. We get your supernatural magic shit out of our Battletech mic stack pool. So they've kind of attempted to retcon it as, oh, Morgan Kell found some form of ECM or the Null Sig system in that Starlake cache and installed it into his archer. And then when Yorinaga Kurita blew the arm off the archer before it disappeared, he was able to get part of it, reverse engineer it, and install it in the Warhammer. And the thing where this falls apart, remember how I said Patrick Kell also did it?
Yeah.
Remember how I said he did it in a borrowed mech?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ECM systems and the Null Sig aren't exactly easy to install, nor are they tiny. So either there's supernatural bullshit going on, or the Kells somehow found like a pocket-sized ECM device that nobody has been able to recreate. And that's why we don't talk about the friggin' fax machines. The fax machines are a collateral damage in this discussion.
So there we go. You've been waiting to talk about that for weeks now.
Yes, I have.
And you finally
Also,
got a reason to.
Also, Morgan Kell is kind of one of the settings Mary Sue's. Sorry, everybody. So the Kellhounds were legit Mike Stackpole's pet mercenary unit.
Eh,
For good and for ill.
I mean, I'm not flush with money after all the weapons buying I've been doing, but I'm still going to poke in and look and see if anything, nope, nothing big at the shop.
Nothing bigger than when we already...
Well, to me, there's nothing big in that shop.
Stupid weapons that shouldn't exist and haven't been invented yet. How dare you break causality?
Right over my knee.
Yep.
So anyway, let's actually get in there. I've kind of realized that most of these videos are getting split in my editing software anyway, so no reason to stop it right here. Let's just see how bad this mission is, shall we? I just have this funny feeling that... Then again, I did make it past the one mission that seems to be the sticking point for so many people. So let's see.
I'm good with the Marauder.
As long as it doesn't blow up in the middle of the mission.
Yeah.
It is really good at taking heads off things, I will say that.
Yeah.
UAC 5 with the bonus it gets on targeting? Yeah.
It's funny because in the tabletop game, so autocannons all got a buff in this game. I've talked about it before, but in the tabletop game, the Ultra AC5 is considered like one of the most underwhelming pieces of Lost Tech out there, because the AC5 wasn't amazing in the tabletop game, and the Ultra AC5, it's just like, oh, shoots twice. And what the thing that makes that extra funny is when House Karita is given a bunch of Lost Tech mechs during the War of 39, one of them is the Sentinel, and the Lost Tech version of that has the Ultra AC5. So suddenly, like, you have this shitty mech, like, oh god, it's firing that AC5 really quickly, we need to retreat! That canonically happened.
Yeah.
War of 39 is fun. Theodore Karita rolled really, really ridiculously well on bluff.
Kind of gets me. It said there was a 4-skull mission. Now it's 3.5. I mean, I wasn't imagining that, right? It did say 4 skulls before we went in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
I don't know if that's adjusting it based on the lance we're dropping down or what, but, you know.
I'm gonna come in next week and the lance is going to be like Kodiak, Nova Cat, Marauder 2C.
Nah, like I said, I'm not going to hack the game. At least not to that extent. I don't want to break something I can't fix.
Yeah.